This is WVVA in Focus, a weekly program about important issues and events in the two Virginias.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this edition of In Focus. I'm your host, Melinda Zosh. This morning, we're talking about an annual event. It's the Quilting Jamboree, the 10th annual event coming up in Bluefield, Virginia at the Graham High School gym. So joining me right now to share some more insight on this event it's gained traction over the years. It's come to be well known in the area. But joining me right now are the event co-chairs, Barbara Belcher and Betty Watson. Also joining me this morning is Betty Kupasamy, the ad chair. So ladies, thank you all for being here this morning.
Oh, we appreciate you having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Barbara, I'll start with you. Why is this event a really big deal in our area?
Well, we've been doing it now for 10 years, and it's grown every year. We've moved forward. Betty Kupasamy and Betty Watson both are founding. They're part of the founding ones who started it 10 years ago, or 11 years ago because of the skipped year with COVID. But they've just built it over and over. Each year it's gotten bigger and bigger, and it brings folks from out of the area here. We have a lot of folks who come from Kentucky, Pennsylvania, Ohio, North Carolina, South Carolina. So we do have an influx of tourists or folks who come just for the quilt show to look at the quilt show. And we have quilters who bring their quilts to have them judged. We do have them judged, and they're recorded with the American Quilt Society. So a lot of these ladies are having their quilts so they can register them with the American Quilts Association. So and it's just really something that we feel strongly about, of keeping going a tradition that's been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. Well, probably thousands of years, because you have quilts and stuff from, they find them in the Egyptian tombs and stuff. So you know, it's something that has been a demand, you know, for that. And it's also art. It is just a talent that people can have.
Right, and it seems like people have to put a lot of love into their work, because like this is an example of a quilt here on the table that is available for raffle. Isn't that right, Betty?
Yes, it is. We make hopefully enough off of our raffle and our book to have the show next year, have a quality show. And we were fortunate this year that one of our best quilters in this area is a great hand quilter, donated the top to us. So our group hand quilted this.
How long did that take?
It. Oh, forever, I'm sure. But she is very good, and she's going to come and teach us our yo-yo class and demonstration this year. But I mean, when I look at her handiwork, and I would love to take it home with me, so I will be buying some tickets.
Oh, I bet you won't be the only one either.
I hope not. I hope not. So I just hope whoever gets it loves it.
Yeah, well, it's absolutely beautiful. And then Betty Watson on their end here. Tell us more about how this event came to be, that you and Betty were the founders early on 11 years ago. How did this all come to be in our area?
Well, we had a group meeting, and some ladies from other groups came to our meeting at the craft library. And they got to talking, and we talked about how we need to all get together and work as a group. And so I talked with this lady, and I said, Betty, you're in charge. And she says, well, you have to join as well. So we actually went to other groups like the Second Tuesday and the ladies down in Richlands and in Bland County, and talked with them about joining our group. And we started the Patchwork Quilters.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful event even for those who don't know much about quilting to come out and learn about it, or maybe to try their hand at it, right?
Yes, so, we hope they will.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope so too.
We have what we call a viewer's choice. When they go through, they pick the quilt that they like best. So, you know, come out and at least give your opinion about which quilt you like the best.
There you go.
That's part of getting the community to come in and just view the like you said, the love and the artwork that goes into these. So come out and vote for your favorite.
Okay, so there you go. Put in your vote for the viewer's choice as well. And then I just want to let our viewers know also the event is coming up June 24th and June 25th. So that'll be a Friday and Saturday. And it's going to be held at the Graham School Gym. And this year's theme is a little bit of fall. So it's $2 admission for ages 18 and up. And the event is running Friday, Saturday from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. So Barbara, would you say that this event draws in people from all around the region as well?
Yes, yes. Like I said earlier, we have people who come from down from Ohio. They know we usually do it in July, but we had to change our time frame a little bit this year. So we've been making sure we get it out to everyone so that they know we are doing it a little bit earlier this year. But we have folks, like I said, from Ohio, Pennsylvania, Virginia, West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina. So we have a wide group. So it's a regional thing. So we're very proud of how much we've accomplished in 10 years, and the amount. Like I said, it just grows bigger and bigger every year. So we're really proud of what's going on with our group, and that's all the Patchwork Quilters do. Is everything we do is dedicated to doing the quilt show. So that's what we work towards, and that's our goal.
And Betty in the middle, why do you think it's important to have this jamboree right here in our area? As Barbara said, people coming from all over the region, South Carolina, Ohio, you name it. Why do you think it's important to have it right in Bluefield, Virginia?
Well, in Bluefield, Virginia is kind of a central location, and we're very lucky that the town of Bluefield sponsors us, and that means we don't have to apply for all those government regulations. We do it through them. But we've had people come from like Virginia Beach. We leave these flyers all over the world. Just
it seems like, right?
And they pick one up, and it's everywhere. And it's just a wonderful thing. If you know anything about Paducah, Kentucky, they are the quilting capital of the world. They have such huge, big quilters. If you ever get a chance, go to their museum and their yearly show.
Yeah.
But they started like we did. We're just amazed that we've gotten 10 years. And I would like to see twice as many people come and us show twice as many quilts.
About how many people on average come out every year to this event?
Somewhere near about 500 will come
good
on
turnout.
average.
And we hang about 120 quilts, give or take. But then there's all these other quilts for charity at the opening ceremonies on Friday at 10 o'clock. We give away 10 quilts to the Able Center this year, and then 10 quilts to the Children's Home Society in Princeton with their adoption affiliation. So, I mean, we're just so proud of that. And when we started it, we were not a money-making thing. We wanted to give other people, and that's what we do.
Well,
and we're real proud of it.
Exactly, and that's so wonderful that you're also like giving back to those in need in our local community. Well, we have more to talk about, including the theme of a little bit of fall, and later on, we're going to show you some of the quilts that the ladies were just talking about. So we'll be right back. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to this edition of In Focus. This morning, we're talking all about the Patchwork Quilters Jamboree. It's the 10th annual event coming up June 24th. That's a Friday, and June 25th, Saturday, from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. It'll be at the Graham High School gym. So we've been talking all about quilts and looking at this beautiful one on the table. But Betty, where does the origin of quilt actually come from? This is like fun trivia for those out there.
Well, Barbara mentioned Egyptians, but at that time they made a lot of their clothes. And quilts means that it's a 3-layer bound together by thread.
Oh.
That's what quilt means. And quilt come from, I was looking up the term quilt, and an interesting fact is it comes from the Latin culcito. C-U-L-C-I-T-A, and it means stuffed sack. So therefore, you've got the 3 layers in the sack. And quilting means the actual thing that you do, the sewing, and it also means what it is. So it's a noun and a verb.
Interesting on the origins. Speaking of origins, how did all three of you like learn about quilting and get into it and get interested in it? Betty?
Well, actually, I retired in 2004, and I went to the craft library. They asked if they were giving quilt classes because I was interested in it. And Suzette at the library told me that I could teach one, that the teacher learned the most. So I went home, talked to my husband, and I said, okay, 2 times a year I'll teach a quilt class.
And I took her first
And
class.
she took my class. That's how I met her.
Got in trouble.
Okay. Betty
Right.
squared, met each other in quilting. Love it. That's a lovely story. And then Betty, what about you? How did you learn how to quilt then?
Through that, but I came from a family of quilters, and I always sewed. I made my clothes and all that stuff, but just working 24/7, I didn't have time. I was a nurse and a surgical nurse and all this other stuff, so there was no time to do anything besides work. And so I said that was my goal when we retired. I was going to learn to quilt, and my husband's just been very supportive. But he just looks, when he looks, what are you going to do with all this material? And somebody that quilts, if you love quilts, you are a hoarder of material.
Okay.
Yeah. And hopefully it's organized sometimes.
Right. It comes with the territory, though. You need the material in order to quilt. And then Barbara, what about you? How did you get into quilting?
Well, I kind of, I had always been around handmade quilts and that type thing. And I just more or less jumped in on it. And I don't know, I met Betty one day and she was talking and she says, I think you need to come and help us. And I'm like, help us what? And then she was telling me about it. So I just really started doing it. I find it is a way for me to unwind, to de-stress, and it's something that I can make and give to my family. So it's a good pastime, but it's also very rewarding to be able to. As a matter of fact, my nephew just got married yesterday, and I made them a quilt and give them a quilt for their wedding gift.
Aww.
So, it's you just do things like that, and I just love to be able to put things together. I'm not as talented as this. I don't do all the applique and the sharp corners like these folks do. I still consider myself a novice or a rookie, whatever you want to call it. But it's just a very enjoyable pastime. And you don't have to get into the big quilts. You can do the small quilts and the lap quilts, to curl up on the couch with. And there's just
She's good. She's good.
She's being humble. She's like, I'm not as good as this. I bet if I saw your quilt, I would be amazed by it, Barbara. I bet I would be like, this is really good. Because to someone with an untrained eye, I think anything that's handmade like this, you can just tell that someone poured their creativity and their the time and effort into it.
I have found out, let me just interject this, because I really want people to understand this. People are intimidated to hang their quilts up because they think these elaborate things. We want everybody's quilt because everybody's quilt has a story, and it's their quilt and their story. So, our judge is looking for specific techniques, but bring your quilt and share it with other people and put the story on it.
Right.
Well, and a lot of our quilts, some of the ladies will bring their grandmother's quilts or their great-grandmother's quilts to let us hang and let other folks see, what they were doing, 7,500 years ago, you know? So we've had some very old antique quilts in, so it's a good thing.
What's the oldest you think that you've had on display?
Oh, back in my great aunt, had one in the West Virginia Book of Quilting, and it was like 18-something. I can't remember the exact date, but there's old ones.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
How do you ladies feel like quilts do tell a story? And it's important, like you said, Betty, to have, no matter what the quilt looks like, to have it up on display to share that.
Well, a lot of people go, oh, I remember I made a dress out of this. We don't do it as much as we used to, but people used to not throw away an inch of fabric because they didn't have it available. And we've looked at some quilts made in the Civil War time. I mean, and they have like postage stamp pieces in there, and it's absolutely beautiful. But there's another side effect of it, and as I said, I love doing research and look at quilts. And I found this article that said there was 4 health benefits of quilting and quilts. And it lets you unplug from the modern world.
True.
Playing with color and geometry is good for your brain. The physical act of quilting actually relieves stress, and I really believe that. It provides a community for quilter, and they become like a group. Churches used to sponsor a lot of those. And then there are patterns out there now that are specifically made to reduce stress. Now, some patterns take your stress level way up, I'm telling you. But I thought it was good.
If you go to a quilt show, you'll see lots of strangers, just look like strangers, but they just say, hello, I haven't seen you for a while, and hug each other. The women become, and the men, they become a group, almost a family. And it's very interesting, but you don't have arguments, particularly between quilters. They become caring for each other, and they support each other when they have problems.
Well, the only argument you're going to have between quilters is if a quilt is, if it's really a quilt, it's hand stitched, or if it's machine stitched, it's not a quilt. You know, that's about the biggest argument you're going to have, is whether it's hand or machine stitched.
Well, there are so few hand stitched ones these days, and it's a big business to machine quilt. It's a huge business.
Oh, there's no way I don't hand quilt. No.
I was going to say, like, I would think machines probably have taken over, right, in the past, like, 50 years with quilting or so.
There are machines that cost in excess of $50,000, literally, that people use for quilting. And a quilt can cost you to pay someone to do it anywhere up to several $1,000s if you get the best quilters, yes.
Well, that's a good point, though. How do you ladies go about quilting? Do you have small machines that you use, or do you practice hand stitching and the machinery, or?
Some ladies use their regular sewing machines and quilt on those, and they're very good at it. And you just hold your hands and just move them in circles with the fabric. Some of us have machines that are
10 or 12 feet long.
Wow.
With throats are like up to 28 or 30 inches
And
wide.
she's talking about the space.
Those are
that
called
you've got
long arms.
Before you roll it up on
Where do you store these at?
The garage. And you just have handles, and you can free motion, or you. Some of them have computers on them, literally,
that have
they
the
draw the
design in 'em.
pictures on, and then let the machine do the work. Now, I personally prefer the free motion.
I do too. I have a free motion too.
Interesting, but there's so much that goes into it that if you come out to the Jamboree, I'm sure if you're a novice or just interested or just want to look at the quilts and put in your choice for the viewer's choice, you can go ahead and learn more that way.
That's an interesting thing about the viewer's choice. Every year we come up with 2 viewer's choices. They're maybe within a vote with each other.
That close.
That close. So this year we'll get about 2 viewers' choices.
First and second.
Oh, see?
No, 2 first.
Yeah, they're just
Yeah.
just 2 first, just viewers' choice.
Okay,
Yeah,
2
I'm the one that gets to count those every year, and it's like,
And she don't tell us at all.
It's
She
totally
keeps
secret.
a total secret.
Then you're good at keeping that a secret. That's how it should be with votes until it's finally released, right?
exactly.
All right, ladies, we do have to take another quick break, but coming back out, we're going to show some of the quilts that they brought here for our viewers at home and explain what some of them are all about, and we'll go from there. We'll be right back. Welcome back to this edition of In Focus, everyone. Well, this morning we're talking about the upcoming Patchwork Quilt Jamboree coming up later this month, June 24th, 25th. That's Friday and Saturday at Graham High School's gym. And ladies, what do we have right here with this quilt?
okay, that is when we give away a quilt on Friday and Saturday, and this is our Friday quilt that we're giving away, and it goes along with our theme of a little bit of fall.
Okay.
So this is one, and we have another one that we're giving away on Saturday. And then this one is the one that we're doing, the hand quilt we talked about, hand quilted one we talked about that we're doing the raffle on, that helps us put on the show each year.
And how much are the tickets for this one, Barbara?
They're $5 a piece or 3 for $10.
Okay.
And the reason that they're that price is this is a hand quilted quilt, so we thought it would be worth a little bit more for folks to get. So
Now this one, you get a ticket for this one for your $2 admission fee. That's all you have to do.
Oh, great. Okay, and it's $2 for everyone, regardless of age, is that correct?
No,
18.
18 and up.
Okay, and then kids are free?
Yes.
Kids are free.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
All right, so what else do we have
This
here?
quilt is a quilt that's going to be in a classes being taught. It's an intermediate to expert class. Cindy Osborne is teaching this class, but you're going to learn how to make the thing. She has another version called A Day at the Fair, which will have cornstalks on it.
Oh, neat.
So it is about fall, and we're really looking forward. We only have a limited number of spots to take this class.
That's an advanced class.
And it's,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's like
it's a-
15 people can take it on Friday and 15 on Saturday.
Yeah.
But once those 15 are in there, there's no more.
Okay, so that's an advanced class. So if someone is interested in learning more, how should they get in touch with you ladies?
They should call Cindy Osborne. Her telephone number is on our brochure.
304-425-6698.
Okay.
Yeah, Cindy Osborne.
And she will send you the information you need and the patterns that you need in advance and instructions to do.
Okay. And ladies, do we have some other quilts and bags here that we can share with our viewers?
Well, while we're getting those, we're also having a beginner's class, a Take 10, and it is just putting squares together. But it goes along with our 10th anniversary of Take 10, so it has 10 squares in it. So we're trying to tie in things, and we're having a few little games and stuff there the day of the quilt show to tie in. We've got 10 little things that you have to go find, and so it's whether it's a 10, T-E-N, T-I-N, whatever. We're trying to incorporate that into our 10th
It's a
anniversary.
scavenger hunt.
Oh, neat.
And the person that gets it all will give us a list, and they will get a prize. We'll have a drawing for the prize for that.
Oh, how fun. And what do we have here?
I'm already collecting quilts at my house because I live next to the school. And this is Lloyd and Lola. It's hard to say. And this came from a very good quilter in North Carolina, Winston-Salem. I couldn't think of the name. And she also made the purse that you have up, which is just such a neat thing. I call it sassy. I don't know what the name is, but I just think it's gorgeous, and it's applique on the front.
That's
stuff,
neat.
yeah.
Oh, look at this, ladies. Love that. There's plenty of pockets and room in there.
But I just love it on front. She fortunately made me one, and I use it all the time.
Now, are these both with raffles or just on display?
No,
or-
These will
These
be
will
on
be
display.
hung.
These are part. These are part of.
These will be
the-
for the judging.
Okay. Okay, these are beautiful. All right, what else do we have here, ladies?
Well, I have a few of the quilts that we're giving away to charity. This one will go to the Children's Home Society of West Virginia.
this
Very
is
colorful,
lovely.
but some little girl's going to love it.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Yes.
And this one is also one for them. It's bright and colorful, but someone is going to love
Yeah,
that.
and we try to give them different sizes for different age children.
Yeah.
Now, this is what we call a string quilt, and it's going to be great for a boy.
Oh,
So there are
nice.
boys who are adopted. So,
This is just
but
a
this
little
is like the ones that my mother and grandmother made with the, with scraps or whatever. But
Yeah. Yeah, I love the variety of material and like flowers and different patterns.
And
in it.
this one has the machine. These were made by a
she used
machine.
an embroidery machine to make that one.
So it's just a different technique, and whether you quilt close or far apart depends on how fluffy it gets.
Oh, okay.
So there's different techniques you can do just by how much you quilt.
Okay.
This is an unusual one.
See the difference there.
Yeah.
Now, this is a rag quilt, And you can see why it's called rag. It's made out of flannels.
Oh,
But
lovely.
it's so soft and,
And the back
everything.
It is so
And that's going to be a
Different.
donation
Not quite
quilt
as
also.
raggy.
Oh, yeah, that is very soft, though.
And this one is a donation quilt. So each one is different.
Oh, yes.
And the kids, when they're adopted, they literally get to choose the quilts, I believe they get. And they receive these checks at the adoption, the quilts at the adoption ceremonies.
And these are hand patterns here that you just do free-handed, but you just repeat it all the way down.
Oh, this is
This
just
is
lovely.
another string quilt as such. But it looks more like a crazy quilt.
Well, the history of this one is we challenged each other in one of our quilt groups to bring a bag of your scraps, just a grocery bag tied for, and the girl made this out of it. And it's called crumb piecing, but these are like 6 or 6.5 inch blocks to start with. And it's just what
is
most people
lovely.
would throw away.
Yeah.
And it's just,
Well,
that can be boy or girl.
ladies,
whichever.
we are out of time for this segment, but I feel like we've showcased some beautiful quilts, and I want to thank all three of you,
Thank you.
Betty, Barbara, for coming in and sharing some information about the Jamboree coming up.
Thank you very much, and we hope to see you there.
Yes, I hope to be there
thank you.
too.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you,
we
ladies.
hope to see all of you there too.
Yes, please come out. We have an opening ceremony at 10 o'clock on Friday morning, and then we'll let you in and enjoy all the quilts.
Thank you all. Have a great day.
Appreciate you. Bye.